Two dead girls. Two dead girls. Dead girls. Everybody, I'm Jessica and welcome to tonight's episode of Two Dead Girls. As you can see, I am flying solo again, but don't worry, after I go through the breakdown, I have some fantastic video comments and questions, and also some questions over on our Facebook page. I cannot thank you guys enough for participating and helping me out. Lisa may or may not be back with me next week because baby girl is home. Gemma is home. So she's kind of on her maternity leave, but she watched the show last night. She messaged me and she's like, oh my God, The Walking Dead. And I was so happy that she watched it, but she's taking it easy. Everybody is doing good. So hopefully we see you next week, Lisa. Before I get started talking about it, if you have not yet seen Season 5, Episode 14, called Spend, what are you doing? Stop. Don't look at me. I see you. Don't watch this. Turn it off. Look, it says it right there. Spoilers. Spoilers. Don't watch it. Okay? Don't watch it. Because we're going to break it down and I'm going to go over it. I am again in the bedroom. It's nice to not have to sit at the computer, but I got to tell you, I miss having a partner to do this with. Anyway, let's get into it. How are you guys feeling after the episode? I am heartbroken. That was gruesome. It was probably the most gruesome death. And I think that it bumped Herschel down to a 2. That was awful. I guess because it was Greg Nicotaro's birthday, he had to do something special. Thanks a lot for that, Greg. Really appreciate it. So, we open up to Gabriel. And I said it in my own reaction video, I really kind of felt almost like, where the hell has this guy been? Did Gabriel die and no one's addressed this? Where is he? But he's there. He's in Alexandria. And Rosemary left him some strawberries, and I guess he has a makeshift church. He's got a purpose now. He's got a job. So I guess that was kind of a given. Deanna didn't have to think about that very much. And Rosemary left him strawberries. And he is tearing the pages out of the Bible. Before he went batshit crazy, I thought that he was tearing out certain pages, and I asked my husband, what is the purpose of tearing out those specific pages? And then he kind of went nuts. So I thought, all right, so he's just going crazy. Really, really short opener. I was almost sure that there was not going to be a commercial, but they did. They went right into a commercial. And they opened back up with Daryl's new bike. Alright, and so that's nice. Daryl's going on his first recruitment run. He's like a scout for Alexandria. And Noah and Deanna's husband are having their morning meeting, having some oatmeal. He wants, you can hear my cat yelling for me outside. So I don't know, was Deanna's husband like a counselor? Was he a psychologist to him, or was he just someone to talk to? But Noah wants to make sure that the walls aren't going to fall. Noah doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't want to go anyplace. And he wants to make sure that the walls don't come down. And Noah's in it for the long haul, and he's going to journal. And Noah is going to record the history of Alexandria. And I said it just reminded me so much of Milton from Woodbury. That was something that Milton did, and I don't know. I felt it then. I said, okay. I said, this is so nice. This is wonderful. And in the back of my mind, I said, it's not sitting right with me. It's the kiss of death. Kiss of death. They show Abe in the bathroom while Rosita is sleeping, and he kind of seems like he's having a little bit of an out-of-body kind of experience there, looking in the mirror, maybe flashing back to something. A lot of PTSD things happening this season between Sasha last week and Abe this week. It's getting real bad. I think when you let your mind rest and you're bored, I don't want to say that you're very bored in Alexandria, but you're certainly not living life on the edge like you were when you were out making your runs and, you know, exposed to all kinds of crap. It's almost like when you have a little bit of safety, your mind has a minute to slow down, and he's probably reflecting a little bit more than he would. So Eugene is gonna go on a run with them. He wants them to go, this is what I need, just go and get me this. You're not gonna mess it up. And they convince him to come. They convince Eugene to come. Oh hell, I'm just gonna let her in. Okay, hang on a second. No, this is my other dead girl. One dead girl and a dead cat. Come here. Come on, my princess. So, he's going to go on a run. And Tara is expressing interest in someone, which I thought was pretty neat and kind of cute. Glenn's going to Deanna's son and the other guy that went on the other run that they almost got everybody killed again. I love how they pull up and they all get into the van and there's this blaring loud music. It's fantastic. Very techno, very fun. And then we cut to Rick's girlfriend, Pete's wife. Why did I do that? Jesse's garage has been ransacked. Someone trashed the owl. And Rick to the rescue. Again, Flirty McDirty. That's his new name. Flirty McDirty. I don't know, and I kind of almost felt like Rick was trying to impress her with the making sure the windows don't get broken, keeps the town intact. I felt like he was trying to impress her. I really don't think that she was that impressed. She's like, dude, it's just an owl. So I don't know. Maybe his sexy constable machismo won't work on Jesse. You never know. I don't know how that's going to play out. So while our other friends are on the run, Tara's basically telling Eugene, you got to pull your weight. And Eugene and Tara's really been Eugene's only ally, and we saw on The Talking Dead that Tara still hasn't told anybody that he sabotaged the put crack glass in their vehicle, causing it to explode and almost kill everybody. And Eugene is still pulling this, I got you to DC. No, we got you to DC, but if it weren't for him, they would have never have thought to go to DC. He's making all of these excuses, and it was just so reminiscent to when he told everybody he wasn't a scientist, but then he just had to throw it in Abe's face. I am still smarter than you. Dude, just shut up and yes people to death. You're absolutely right. Like, that was a serious lie. That really was. I'm very happy that he redeemed himself towards the end of the episode. It was about time, and he really grew some balls, and he did what he had to do. But we will get to the ball growing eventually. So they are surrounded. The place has walkers in front. They're in a warehouse. They found what they came for, and obviously the military was there, because here came a walker, in a full face mask, and I'm just yelling, "Pull a Maggie! Pull a Maggie!" Put his head back and stab him underneath the chin. And I loved how after that, the next commercial break, when they did like a Walking Dead flashback, that was the flashback that they showed when she's like, "Did you see it?" Like when she killed the guy in the riot gear. God, I was like, just pull a Maggie, just get him in the chin. And then there's a humongous explosion. They shot something that was pretty flammable, and it went boom. So it's all smoky, and it's very, very cloudy, really close call. I thought they're going to leave Tara. I thought that they were just going to leave Tara. I couldn't believe that Tara was there. Dana's son is impaled. I had no idea that he was that badly impaled. At first I thought it was just through his shoulder, but later on we found out it's through his shoulder and through his gut. I'm like, dude, you're totally screwed. Sam shows up at Carol's house, wants these cookies. Oh, this kid's gonna be trouble. And the thing that made me mad was that towards the end of the episode, we know that Carol now feels that Jesse and Sam, that that Pete's an abuser, because if anybody's going to be able to spot an abuser, it's going to be Carol. And what breaks my heart is that Sophia was probably the very same way as Sam was. Just wanting to be around somebody that's doing nice things, wanting to be around somebody that's showing them any kind of attention. And I feel bad that she couldn't have picked up on it a little bit sooner, that maybe Sam was being abused. Maybe she would have been a little bit nicer to him, because she was like complete bitch face, you know, stare at the chocolate, look at the flowers, Lizzie. Tara's not doing so good, saving a lot of blood. Dana's son is impaled. It's just really, it's really, really bad. Are coming in now. What the hell is going to happen? Deanna's son is coming too, and he's making all kinds of noise, and it's absolutely awful. And then we shoot over to Abe, who is now, you know, on a construction site, which is great. I mean, he's, you know, he's a big guy. He can carry his own on a construction site. But we're starting to see a little bit about how Alexandria operates. Basically, if you have a sacrificial lamb, you just let it happen and run. It's kind of like they didn't exactly throw, who I really thought Francine, was it Francine? Yeah, Francine. Francine is cool as shit. I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry. I curse a lot. Listen, I have a 5-year-old son. The only time I get to curse is when I'm doing this. So I think I make up for the other, you know, 20 hours of the day when I don't at all. And I'm sorry. I apologize. But Francine is cool as shit. But at first I thought it was a man, and I'm like, you're going to leave that man there? I'm sorry to women that have short haircuts, but I'm not saying anything. Don't put words in my mouth. No nasty comments, please. But Francine is down, and they were just going to leave her, and Abe was not having it. Abe went bananas. But that's kind of how Alexandria operates. If you have an opportunity to go, you take that opportunity to go. You don't take the opportunity to help. You get yourself out first, and you don't worry about anybody. It's like every man for themselves. If someone else is getting eaten, you just go, because there is no helping them. And it's true, there is no helping them, but until that actually starts happening, don't you think you should try to help them? Which is what Abe did. So I thought that that was fantastic. And I love that he said Mother Dick. That's going to be my new thing all the time. I say, Mother Dick. And it just sounds so good coming out of the mouth of a man with hair as red as Abe's. So Abe is loving, when we come back, he is loving what he's doing. I had like a whole series of zombie kills. I'm not even going to put them in because I have a pretty longer than reaction, pretty much longer than normal reaction to what happens to Noah, and I'm going to include that here on this show. But Abe is, and thank you very much, Rockula, it's called a mace. He has that big thing with the spikes and a chain on a stick, and he was friggin' getting every single one of them. And he had a look on his face that he was in his element. This is what he does. Knock, 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 knock. So there's a knock on the door, and it is Pete with a couple of beers, a knock on Rick's door, and Rick lets him in. I guess maybe Rick thought that Pete was trying to find out if he had gotten anywhere on the case of the ransacked garage. And he tells him basically, screw it, who cares, it's just an owl. Nobody gives a crap. Sorry, I heard that you lost your wife. I felt like Rick should have looked at him and said, well, it's not so bad. I heard you have a wife. Heard you have a wife to spare. I'll take her. We'll be all good to go. It's basically telling him, listen, we have to be friends. There's no way around it. We're just going to have to be friends. Bring the kids in for a checkup. Well, okay, sure. Dr. Pete. But what scares me now that we know, again jumping forward, that Tara is so badly injured, is it such a good idea to be screwing around with a doctor? Laying there unconscious and bloodied, bleeding from her head. Who knows what's going on with her? Eugene's basically yelling at her. You should have listened. It reminded me of the scenes with Carl when Rick was passed out. when he's like, you shouldn't be leader, you suck, Dad, this, that, the other thing. Well, Eugene did the same thing, and it really upset me, but I guess it's kind of what Eugene had to do to get it out of his system. Maybe he's got it out of his system now, and he's like, all right, I've said what I had to say, and now I could go on. And he picks her up. And at first, and they touched on this on The Talking Dead, when he first peered around the corner, it looked like he was by himself. I'm like, he's fucking leaving her. He's leaving her. But he didn't. He had her on his shoulder, and he carried her out. And he was shooting, and he was getting them out. And I couldn't believe that he was doing it. I really couldn't believe what I was witnessing. So Deanna's son's dead, and they tore him apart bad. It was like really close-up 80s horror movie. We're not going to grab anything. We're just going to slide our hands all around in it, in the corn syrup. And it was just like one of those things. And he's screaming for his life. And it was so hard to watch, but it was so cool. So I had like one eye open watching it that way. It was so bad. But before he was left, it was whispered in his ear again, just like what happened on the construction site. Basically, you know, this is what we do. They left behind those people in the last run that they said, oh, we lost some people. They didn't follow protocol. No, it's not that they didn't follow protocol. You guys are too scared to try to fight for them and to help them. You just ran away and saved yourself. And that's what they do. You save yourself at all costs. Every man for himself. When we come back from the next break, the old foreman of the construction site is basically telling Deanna that Abe is doing a much better job than he ever could, and you should trust him with this responsibility. Not only did he take out a hell of a lot of walkers, but he's still out there with the crew working on, you know, on getting their supplies. And Maggie's assuring her that they would be doing the best thing for Alexandria by letting Abe do this job. And Deanna is trusting her. Deanna is trusting everything. How much stuff did they hear? How much stuff did they hear? And another thing, going back to the construction site, these people shooting, are they aware they're supposed to shoot them in the heads? See what being behind behind the walls of Alexandria does to you? How long have we determined yet how long they've been, again I'm going to say, sequestered? How long have they been there? Because not one of them is a decent shot at all. They're shooting everywhere. Shoot him in the friggin' head. Abe takes a mace and he's whacking them down left and right. You have automatic weapons and you can't hit one of them. So Sam comes back to Carol and they're trying to make small talk. And Sam wants a gun, basically is what it comes down to. Carol's starting to put two and two together. It's like, Sam, who broke your statue? Did you break your statue? Why do you need a gun? And he is running, he runs away. So now Carol is aware that Sam is being abused at home. We get back to the building. Eugene is distracting everybody with the van and the techno music, and the ones that are on the outside look like they have pretty much gone away. Here's the problem now. They're stuck in that revolving door. One person has guns, the other two have the ammunition, or vice versa. But then the most horrible thing in the entire world happens. Schmucky gets out, and the equilibrium of their little teeter-totter of a revolving door is now compromised, and Noah gets eaten. And I was so upset because they talked about it on The Talking Dead. I don't know why I liked Noah so much. I really don't. He didn't have crazy storyline. He helped to save Beth. He was just a good guy. I really wanted to learn more about him. And then when they said it on The Talking Dead, I realized this is exactly why. Because he reminded me so much of Glenn. Season 1 Glenn. That guy that was willing to stick his neck out for anybody. Beth's like, I want to escape. Noah says, sure, let's do it. They say, listen, I need tampons and douches. Glenn's like, I'll go. You know, Glenn was willing to do anything. I'm sorry for all the feminine hygiene talk. I know I mentioned it last week, but that's what Noah reminded me of. Noah reminded me a lot of Glenn. After they said it, I'm like, that must be why. But it was horrible. And I have an extended reaction of Noah's death, and I'm going to insert that here. What's he doing? What's he doing? Ugh. 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 No.
He didn't do what he was supposed to do, right?
No, that fucking guy. And like I said, it was probably the most gruesome death that I've ever seen on the Talking Dead. I mean, on The Walking Dead. Honestly, Dale's was horrible. Herschel's was horrible. This one to me by far just took the cake. It took the cake. Oh, I'm still having a hard time thinking about it. And it was just the effects of everything. So I'm going to put a question out before I go any further. What was your favorite death and why? It could be a spiteful, revengeful death. It could be the governor. It could be, you know, it could be whoever. What death in this series is your favorite death and why? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. So Noah's gone, and he's distraught. Glenn is distraught. Eugene's not going to leave without his friends. Absolutely not. Tara's in the van. Schmucky tells him to get out of the van. I'm not going to leave. And then Glenn comes and beats the crap out of him. And Eugene just looks at Glenn and says, "Where's Noah?" And there's no word spoken. Nothing can be said. Noah's gone. Eugene knows it. So that's the last time that we see them. So we don't know what is going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. We'll get into why I'm so anxious to find out what happens in this storyline in a minute, because it has to do with Gabriel. Obviously, you guys know where I'm going with this. Carol is asking about Sam. She goes to the house. Pete won't let her in. Pete won't let her talk to Jesse. And now she is completely convinced. So Gabriel pays a visit to Deanna and basically says that Rick and the group, they're not good people. They've done terrible things. They can't be trusted. The day will come when they destroy everything. Basically talking about how Satan disguises himself. See, they are Satan, basically Satan disguising himself. What's going to happen when Eugene drives that van back into Alexandria and Deanna's son is dead? Is she going to believe Father Gabriel? Because, I mean, they're not coming back with their own losses. I mean, her son is dead. Yes, so she's going to flip out, obviously, but Noah's dead. Tara could die. It's obvious that a fight was put up. If anybody really would be to blame, it would be Schmucky Friend, who just who just basically left him there and was going to leave everybody else there. What was Gabriel's purpose of, you know, well, we all know that Gabriel couldn't have been trusted from the very beginning. He was, like Lisa said, he's just perched up, you know, neatly on a rock. Help, 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 just out of reach. There's something very untrustworthy about him, and we all know that. But what is Deanna's reaction going to be now that the seed was planted that Rick and his group are bad? Bad things come, and now the bad things are starting. Now all of the bad things are going to start, and we have just a couple of weeks left. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And then we get back, and Carol is convincing Rick that Pete is abusing Jesse, and she basically tells Rick, "We know how this is going to go. You're going to have to kill him." And I don't know, I think Rick likes the idea that he's going to have to do it, but again, with Tara the way that she is, and I don't know if there are any other doctors. I mean, there's some chick that makes prosciutto, so she might be good with a knife, but he's a surgeon and a doctor. Like, do you really want to dismiss that person? I don't know what the right decision is. I don't know what the right decision is. But that was basically the entire episode. There were so many, oh my God, and Eugene almost got eaten. It was so bad. Oh my God. This might be my favorite episode of the season. It might be my favorite episode of the season because there was like the perfect dialogue to action ratio. I don't know. Is that like an actual thing? It must be an actual thing. But I'm in my bedroom, and I am going to go over to our Facebook page, and then I'm going to check the video comments. So let's go over here to the Two Dead Girls Facebook page. Hey guys, if you ever want to find us on Facebook or where to find me or Lisa elsewhere, check down in the description field of this video. We have all of our links to like Instagram and Facebook and all that fun stuff. So I just basically wrote I recorded a video saying what the actual F happened, and we have a lot of comments here, so I'm going to go through them one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. Let's see. Cherise says, "My brain hurts just trying to process this episode." No, it really does. It was a hard episode to watch. And it's just perfect leading up to the next episode as to what is going to happen now. What's going to happen now, because you're coming back to, you know, to your new home to basically say, "Listen, we went on our second run, your son is dead." After a priest is telling you that they're the devil in disguise. You know, like what? I don't know. Sydney wrote, "Ah, why?" Crying face, crying face, crying face. Sydney, I don't know why. I don't know why they do the things they do. But I hate them for it. With a lot of love in my heart, but I hate them for it. Cherise wrote, again, on a positive note, "I love that Eugene finally stepped up." Absolutely. All right, Jason. Jason has good questions here. "How do you think Rick and Carol will handle the Pete situation?" I don't know. How can they handle the Pete situation? He's a freaking doctor. It's the same thing as the hospital. What are they going to do? They killed the second doctor that could have potentially been there, so that one doctor could keep. There's no other doctor there. What are they going to do? Wait a minute. Could they go back to the hospital and get the doctor that survived? The one that eats the guinea pigs? Or hamsters? Or gerbils? What was he eating? Rodents. What kind of impact do you think Noah's death will have on the group? It's going to kill Maggie. I really think it's going to kill Maggie, because if anything, Noah was the only person that tried to help her sister get out of there, and I'm sure that she knows that They had that nice moment last week at the party where they said, you're with us. We have you. We have your back. Which is another reason why it was so hard for, I think, for Glenn to have to be the one to watch that. Do you think Tara is in trouble of dying in the finale? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if she's even going to make it to the finale. She could die, she could die next week. Wee Mom Mandy said this was such an intense, crazy episode. I agree. Enilda wrote, what a horrible death. I think Deanna will remember Gabriel's words while she's mourning her son. I couldn't agree with you more. I think she's going to remember it. But again, I'm hoping that she logically and realistically thinks about things. And it's so hard to take your heart out of it when it's your kid. But again, their group did not come back unscathed. They lost somebody and someone's really seriously injured. Like, shit's going to happen. When you keep yourself hidden away for all these years, months, whatever. Again, how long have they been in Alexandria? You don't know how to defend yourself. I'm thinking Gabriel heard Rick and Carol and Daryl's plan to get the guns. This is from Anilda still. He must think that Rick is going to take Alexandria from Deanna by force. Maybe. Could be. And my Gigi. Joni wrote, Eugene is awesome. He finally found his guts. Yeah, they found a lot of guts this episode, Joni. A lot of guts. So much guts. And there wasn't a lot of me gagging this episode because it was just masked by my tears. I had a couple of comments on my reaction video that I thought were interesting, so I just wanted to quick bring them up. Dan Zotter mentioned that it was such a Shane and Otis move when the schmucky guy left Deanna's son. I'm saying schmucky guy because I didn't write his name down and I don't remember it, but it was really a very Shane and Otis type move. I thought that was interesting. I love when things replay themselves in other episodes. When at the end of the episode Carol said, you're gonna have to kill him, she just reminded me so much of Lori again with Shane. Well, you do what you think is best. Wizard Lockhart mentioned if Rick kills Pete, the doctor, who's gonna take care of Tara. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. Alright, I'm going back to find some videos. I have some video comments. I have a video comment and some questions from Lori. And I have a video question / comment from Rockula over at Rockula Retrospective. So Lori wrote, I had so many questions. I recorded 2. You can use just one. Alright, so she has 2 questions that she wrote, and she has something recorded. I'm just going to answer all of it. Let's see. Why do you think Gabriel turned his back on the group? I don't know, because as a priest, he obviously does not make very good decisions, locking his congregation out of the church. I mean, if the devil is disguising himself and is going to ruin things, was the devil then working through you when you locked your people out when they were seeking refuge and a safe place, and you let them all die? I want to know the real story of what happened at the church. I would love a Gabriel flashback episode. I would love to see how things really went down, because you'll burn for this. We have our suspicions as to what happened. I would really love a Gabriel flashback. Oh God, this is a good question. If you had to choose to keep Noah alive but Tara had to die, would you? Oh my God. I don't know how to answer that. I like Tara. Alright. Noah's smart and he's fearless, but so is Tara. I don't really think that Tara is impulsive. I don't think that Noah is impulsive. Oh my God. If I had to choose to keep Noah alive but Tara had to die, would you? I couldn't choose. I couldn't choose. I leave it up to Greg Nicotero. I'm just going to let him make all the important decisions in my life from now on. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that. I don't even know how to answer that. But I'm going to go to her video and I will try to sync it up with this when I edit it on my PC. First of all, I love her thumbnail. Look at the thumbnail. Can you see her? She's like, peace.
Hi, it's Lori. Two dead girls.
Hi.
First of all, I have to say congratulations to Lisa, the new mommy. Congratulations, how precious. Second of all, I have to say to Jessica, hey girl.
What's up, girl?
I had so many questions. I just narrowed them down to two. The first one is about last night's episode. The next one is about the future. So, question one. Do you think Carol's idea was a good idea? You know, to kill Pete. He's the only doctor in town.
Bad idea.
That's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Second question is, what about the prequel that's coming out? Are you going to watch it?
I am.
Are you excited about it?
Yes.
Are you not? Are you
No.
going to do live reactions?
Yes.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Now you know.
Look at the flower.
Don't kill me, Lori. No, I'm really excited for the companion series. I think that it's gonna be great, and if it can keep us going all year long without any hiatus to do these videos, that would be fantastic. I would love that. And I think I heard it's gonna take place in LA. So that's pretty fun. So let's go over to Rockula. Alright, Rockula asks Jessica from Two Dead Girls. That's us.
Hey Jessica, it's Rockula from over here at Rockula Retrospective.
What's up, Rockula?
And I got quite a lengthy question for you, so
Uh-oh.
I had to write it down on a piece of paper here.
Jesus.
This is the time where we find out where Deanna stands after her son's death and the discussion with Gabriel. Now, we also have the possibility that Nicholas's side of the story has not come into view. So far, she's proven to
Nicholas.
be level-headed and fair.
Schmucky guy.
But will she stay reasonable? Or will she let the pain of her son's death interfere with her judgment?
I don't know. That I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what she's going to do because, again, like I said, her heart's going to be broken. This is her kid. Her kid is dead. But again, Rick's group is not coming with no, okay, it's recording. Rick's group is not coming back without any casualties. They have their losses too, so it obviously wasn't like some kind of a sacrifice. I think if anything, what's going to weigh on her the most is what Gabriel said. And she's going to be, not that I think that she believes in, you know, like she's, you know, coming from a religious standpoint and devil and Satan and good and evil and all of that. But, I mean, this was their second run and her kid's gone. So, as a mother, I don't know, but I think Alexandria is partially, Alexandria in its entirety is partially to blame for their own ignorance. They've kept themselves hidden away. They have no idea how the real world now operates. They have no idea that this is this can be done. Look at these people. They've been surviving in the elements for as long as you guys have been surviving in Alexandria. I'm interested to know how many weeks it's been since an accident in Alexandria compared to Rick and his groups. I mean, how many people died, and in Rick's hands compared to the people that were in Alexandria? I mean, in terms of population, how many people? They just said on a run that they went on previously, they lost 4 people. 4 people on a run? That would never happen to Rick's group. Are you nuts? 2 people go out on horseback, they come back with like diapers, a crib, friggin' formula. It doesn't happen. You hide yourself away. They're partially responsible for those deaths and for those things happening. That's what I think. So I don't know how Deanna's going to react, because I don't get a bad vibe or a good vibe from her. I get a political vibe. I think that she just looks at facts and the emotions are kind of aside. I think that her husband is going to be more emotionally distraught over the loss. I don't know. I don't even want to say that. We never really saw his relationship with his parents, but I don't know. We don't have a lot left of the season. It's going to be really, really hard to watch. I want it to be Sunday already. This Sunday, I'm not going to be watching it at 9 o'clock with everybody else. I'm going to have to watch it at 11 o'clock because I was lucky enough to be at a group reading for the Long Island Medium, and I'm going to a viewing party for the show. So if during the commercial breaks you want to click over to that show to see if maybe you possibly see me on TV, I don't know how it's going to be edited or anything. It was a really neat experience. But I'm going to have to wait until 11 o'clock. I might miss The Talking Dead. Obviously, I'm going to miss The Talking Dead because I don't want to watch The Talking Dead before The Walking Dead. I'm going to stop rambling now and just basically say that's it from me, you guys. It has been real. This was such a hard episode. I hope that Lisa's able to do it with me next week, and if she's not able to, I'm hoping that I can rely on you guys again. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I am Jessica with Two Dead Girls. Bye, guys.
Two dead girls.
Dead girls.
Two dead girls.
Dead girls.
Two dead girls.
Dead girls.